Hi guys, good morning. Hope you can see everything okay. Going to be showing you my hematite woven lace today. Got some really lovely bracelets. These are some of the colourways that we've got available on the website today, so I'm going to show you how to make them in a moment. The way that we put the colours together is so that you can actually make two different sets. So even though you're going to make two from a kit and they're very similar colourways, at least when you're making two they can be really nice and different. So this is the teal set. You've got more of a green colourway and more of a blue. So it's the bicones and the seed beads that are changing, but we've put the same colour drums in there. And they've got magnetic clasps as well. So hopefully they're nice and easy for you to put on as well. I thought I'd show you them first of all because they're not too easy to show my hands, just so that you can see what we're making. Good morning, Joanne. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Debbie, Mandy, Diana, Helen, Marcia, Lynn, Karen. Morning, Camille. Bit chilly here. Yes, it is here as well. Really windy, actually. I was hoping to get a little bit of the garden sorted later on this afternoon and this evening, but I don't think that's going to happen. Good morning, Di. She says they look really beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really pleased with these. Oh, Margaret, good reminder. Happy birthday, Kitty. It's Kitty's birthday today, hence me being here. I've already texted her this morning. But good reminder while we're here. Lucy says, are these bracelets on the USBs? No, they're not, I'm afraid. So you can go to the link in the description of the video. You can actually buy the download PDF for $1.99. That will give you the instructions. You're going to need your hematite drums, bicones, size 15 and size 11 seed beads and a clasp. Or for $14.99, you can get the kits and it will make two colourways within the set, so really good value for money. This is the gold one. The gold also has like a teal and a yellow in there. Unfortunately this one broke because I've been transporting them from the TV and backwards. I had half a thread and I caught it on the box as I was pulling it out, but these are the two colours that are available in the gold. So I'm going to use the rainbow one today. I'm just going to get started. I've got the rainbow drums and I'm just going to move this light down a little bit to light it up for us. It's really dull here today. Because it's quite an intricate weave, I'm going to do like a little taster section if you like. So I'll show you the pattern complete from beginning to end steps. But it is, I would say, a good couple of hours make if you are new. If you're very savvy with your bead weaving and you know what you're doing, then it's not going to take you as long. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to start. I've got my thread on the spool and I'm just going to start with the base foundation stitch. So with these ones, we actually do quite a few runs, so it's really nice and reinforced. To begin with, we're just going to make a really nice little base using our seed beads and our bicones. We're then going to come back down the bracelet and fill in with our hematite drums and our bicones on the edges, and then we're going to give it a nice little picot edging so that you can see. Let me get one of the darker colours so that you can see it. And then once you're wearing it, as you can see, it's really beautifully fluid and you've got the lovely little picot edging from the seed beads. Oh, Kitty's on. Good morning, Kitty. Happy birthday. She's having a lazy morning and watching a bit of beading. So that's nice, as are we all. Good morning, Sue. Hi, Lorna. Raining here. Happy birthday, Kitty. Hope the weather is better there. Oh yeah, I'm not sure what Kitty's weather's like this morning. Maybe sat on her veranda like we normally would be just before the video. Good morning, Marion. I've done the purple one and now I've started the gold one. Lovely. I know a few people messaged me yesterday to say that they would have their kits out and ready and would be beading with me today, so that's really lovely. Thank you. Okay, so Jen says I've made this. It's gorgeous. Wear it lots. Also made it in the bluish green rainbow one too. Oh, amazing. So this is the rainbow one that I'm using. So We've got the rainbow hematite drums, which have the most amazing colour and finish on them. And then within the set, you can either take that down to the purple hues. So we've got the purple bicones and the purple size 11 and 15 seed beads, or also available in the same kit with your rainbow. You could take it to the blue tones as well. So both hematite drums look beautiful. With the blue, it's going to pick up all those green and blue tones. With the purple, you pick up all the purples and the pinks. So it's quite interesting to see how the same colour drum can react to various different colours. Okay, so a few things we need to remember in this kit. This is going to be my foundation stitch, and this is just a pattern repeat. So I'm going to pick up a size 15 seed bead, one of my bicones, and a size 15. Now, every time I add a bicone on here, it needs to be surrounded by size 15s. Okay, so 15, bicone, 15. I'm then going to pick up 3 of my size 11s, and then we're going to repeat our size 15, bicone and size 15, and then another 3 of my size 11s. Okay, so this is the little foundation stitch that's going to make the base of our bracelet. Now, just so that I can get my hands in, I'm going to lift this up ever so slightly and I'll raise the beadwork up for you. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down my thread. Now, you do need a lot of thread for this pattern, so I would suggest leaving it on your spool. And then you can obviously have the extra thread there if you need to as well. So I'm going to come all the way through the first section up to my bicone, like so. And when I pull this tightly, it's going to give me a nice little circle. Okay, I can pull that, oh, excuse the dog. I can pull that a little bit tighter, and that'll give you that finished look. And then we're going to repeat the same thing to create, the drums are 4mm, Mandy. We're going to create the same finish. Oh, guys, do excuse me. Hi. Is there any chance? I'm so sorry. Yes, I can. No problem. Thank you so much. Thank you. No problem. All right. Thank you so much. Sorry, guys. Guy came to read the water meter. Oh, happy Monday. It's going to be one of these days, I can tell. Okay. It's all right, Curly. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this pattern now. And I'm going to pick up a size 15 because I want to continue my next lot. Oh dear. A size 15, 3 of my 11s, a size 15 and a bicone. And remember, we're going to edge that on every side, so another 15. And then 3 of my size 11s. And because I'm then going to be going back into my bicone, remember we need to edge them with the 15s, so I'm also going to pick up another one. I'm exiting from the bottom of this bicone, so I'm going to come from the top down to the bottom and pull through. And now you'll see that I've got the next little link in the bracelet. I'll put it on the white so you can see it. So I've got my 15s on both sides and we're just linking them through. Now to position myself for the next one, ready to go through my bicone and add on my next link, I need to position myself there. So I'm going to come all the way down and go up through this bicone. Let me know if anyone's beading along with me as well, because I know quite a few of you have these kits. It's lovely that a lot of you have really enjoyed making them and you're wearing them lots, which is great. I think they're so fluid once they're on as well. It's a really lovely feeling to be wearing them. Okay, so I'm coming out the top of this bicone and we're just going to do a pattern repeat again. I'm going to bring these in a bit so you can see them. So a size 15, because every time we've had a bicone, we need to edge it with a 15. And then 3 of my size 11s, a 15, a bicone, a 15, 3 11s, and a 15. And that's going to give me all my little run up for the next set. So then I'm exiting from the top of my bicone. I'm going to come up through the bottom, and that will then link on my next section and my next loop. So you can see once you get used to the bead count, oh, Marion's saying the instructions are really good. Thank you. So I wrote the instructions. Kitty's done her lovely little diagrams as well. Let me just show you, just in case. So these are the instructions. As you can see, these are the steps that I'm going through at the moment. So it's got a really clear thread path. I've written it and Kitty's done these beautiful illustrations so that it's super clear and simple for you to see. I haven't had anybody say that they were struggling with them, so that's really good because it is quite an intricate weave. But you're also going to learn lots of different techniques within the one bracelet, which I think is really good. Now I'm going to repeat this a couple of times more. And just remember, every time you have your bicone, we are going to do a 15, 3 11s, a 15, a bicone, a 15, 3 11s, and then always finishing off on that 15 as well, because you want to edge top and bottom. Coming out the top of the bicone, so I'm going to go up through the bottom, all the way up to the top, like so. And at this point, I don't particularly like to work away from me, so at this point I just rotate my work around, hold that in my finger, and then I can move through my seed beads. You can do it one at a time, you can do it all in one clear run, it's entirely up to you. I'm keeping my tension reasonably tight so that there aren't any gaps, and as you can see, you start to create this beautiful chain. Now this on its own is the base foundation for lots of different bracelets. We've even got some really lovely necklaces. I've made little tennis bracelets in the past with some of these as well, so it's a really nice pattern to get used to and technique to start working with. And as soon as you know the bead count, and you can always write it on like a little cheat sheet. Oh, look, getting carried away. You can always write it in a little cheat sheet. So you could write down the count if you don't want to keep on reading the text. So that would make it really nice and simple for you at quick glance, just to be able to find out where you're going, like so. And then up through the side. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to start filling in the gaps. So you would continue to do this until you reach the entire length of your bracelet, or your required length. Now, we actually have the, excuse me, we actually have the magnetic clasps in there. So it's not going to take too much length away from your finished piece. I would say I normally leave about an inch. I would say that this is just smaller than that. You could always change the clasp as well. If you were going to gift this to somebody, you could add on a different clasp and actually have an extender chain, so that they could, if you didn't know their exact length and size of wrist, then you could actually put an extender chain on there as well. To make them really good giftable and possibly sellable pieces as well. Okay, so, oh good, lots of people saying they really like them. Willow says, I've never beaded in my life. This popped up on my timeline and I can't stop watching. It could take on a third hobby, I'm sure. Oh, well, welcome, Willow. I'm glad that you have found us by mistake. So we actually do these Facebook Live tutorials every day at 10 o'clock. We started at the start of lockdown, which for us was the 24th of March. We started these just as a little interaction for everybody that's at home and enjoys their beading. And we've actually started doing them now for 14 weeks. We've now been doing them. So you can go back onto our Facebook page and you can have a look and see 14 weeks worth of tutorials. So lots for you to be catching up on. And I'm sure there are some beading techniques in there that you might find you really like. Diane says, are the hematite drums in the bundle? Yes, they are. So in your set, you will get 2 of your clasps. You will get a strand of your hematite drums. You'll also get 2 colours of your bicones, 2 colours of your size 15 seed beads, and 2 colours of your size 11s as well, so that depending on what colour option you choose, you can take it into 2 different colour sets. I love making multiple bracelets or multiple makes out of one kit, but sometimes it can be a bit samey. So what I wanted to do was just really pick out some of the colours from the sets from in the drums, and be able to allow you to take those both ways. If you go back to the beginning of the video, I'm sure I'll show it again. This purple rainbow set you can either take to purple, or there will also be the blue set in there as well. Katrina says, hi, I have a question. How come the PDF downloads are not free for the day anymore? So Katrina, on... what day was it? I can't remember what day we did the video. So I was with Kitty last week, and we've decided to continue to do these videos for the foreseeable future. And for us to be able to do that, we need to come up with some new designs. We need to come up with new instruction sheets. Instruction sheets like these probably take about 4-5 hours to come up with. So to enable us to do that for the foreseeable future, we've just had to go back to putting them at their normal price rather than doing the free downloads. So hopefully this is going to allow us to continue developing some kits and continue doing the videos every day as well. So the $1.99, for example, yesterday's one, no, sorry, my apologies. Saturday's one was still free. So where we can, and if they're older projects and it doesn't take us time to develop things, and things like that, then where we can, we will still give them to you for free. Okay, so I'm now going to start filling in the drums and the bicones. Oh, Willow says, thank you. I will give it a go. Lovely. Hope you find something on there that you like. We don't have a bundle for the drums today individually, but they are available in each of the kits. Okay, so I'm going to start filling in with my hematite drums. And to do this, I need to be positioned in my first size 11. So I've turned around now, and we're going to start making our way back down our bracelet. I'm going to go through my size 15 and my 11. So I'm exiting from my first size 11 seed bead up at the top here. I'm then going to pick up one of my hematite drums, and I'm going to cross over diagonally. Now this is going to let the drum sit a little bit wonky first of all, but when we come back over the bracelet and fill in the gaps, we're also going to go through it in the other direction to straighten it up. So for now, we're just going to do one pass. So I'm going to come diagonally across, and I will go through my last size 11 on this base loop. Just that one bead. And when I pull that tightly and I bring this down, that hematite drum is just going to sit in the middle, once I untwist it, of the little cage that we've created. And I'm exiting from this size 11, so I'm going to pick up a bicone bead, and I'm going to cross over just straight across this path to my first size 11. So on this run, when we are filling in our bicones and our hematite drums, I'm only going to work with one size 11 on each side of my little cage. So I'm exiting from this one down here. I'm going to pick up my drum, and I'm going to cross over to that last size 11 up at the top. Okay, so each time, and I hope you can all see this nice and clearly, Beverly's asking how she gets these kits. We've got a link on the page, Beverly. I think Kitty has just pinned it up there for you. You can follow that over, $14.99 for 2 bracelets. And like I said, you'll get sort of 2 colourways within those as well. So really hope you enjoy. Could we use round beads for the pattern? I don't see why not. I haven't tested it. This bead count was for these drums, which are slightly more longer in shape, being the drums. They've got a bit more of a rectangular shape to them. But if you can't quite work it for the round, or you find that it's leaving a gap, you could just redo your thread, your bead count. To make sure that it's going to hug that really nicely, but I'm sure a round would work as well. So I'm just exiting from each one of my 11s, and each time I'm picking up a drum, crossing over, going through the size 11 at the base, like so. And you'll see, if I move this so that you can see the whole thing, what you'll see is that we're starting to get a little zigzag, and in a minute I'm going to come back and fill that in on the other side as well. Okay, so I'll just go all the way down to the end, and this is why I just wanted to do a little taster section for you, so that you could see, because it is a pattern repeat with all of these. Once you've mastered that next step, you're just going to repeat it for the whole length of your bracelet. So at least if I have a smaller section to work on this morning, I can show you all of those steps and all of those patterns. Like so. Okay, last two. And I keep on rotating my beadwork just to make it easy for myself. There is no right or wrong way to hold things like this. It's whatever's going to make it easy for you. Now, if your beads are a little bit tighter, just use your finger to just push that bead up and out of place almost, just to open up that thread path for you. And now that I'm towards the end and I don't really have much to hold on to, I'm just keeping that thread nice and tight, so keeping that tension under my finger. That's keeping it out of my way, and it's just also giving me that little bit of rigidity so that I can start moving on it, and start holding it so that it doesn't move, rather. Okay, last one. So my last bicone, and then filling in with that drum as well. So I'm obviously at the end of the bracelet. We will create little loops to attach our clasps on at the end, but for now I'm just going to worry on the actual pattern and detailing. So I'm going to come all the way around the base of my bracelet so that I can turn around and start coming up the other side. And this will, like I said a moment ago, straighten up our hematite drums, and we can also fill in the missing bicones on the other side. Okay, so I'm exiting from, let me get the tail out of the way so that you can see. I'm now exiting from my size 11 at the top, just like we were a moment ago, but this time I'm just going to come through the hematite drum that we already have. Pull that nice and tightly, and you'll now see that rather than it sitting wonky, it has straightened up and sat really nice and neatly. And again, I'm going to go through the size 11 at the bottom. So this time we're doing the same thread path. We're not adding in any more drums, but I do need to pick up my bicone to fill in this gap at the bottom. So through that first size 11. And now you will feel your beadwork really starts to take shape and just sits beautifully in position, because we're just straightening everything up and reinforcing it. So diagonally through that hematite drum to straighten that one up, like so. And then ready to add the bicone in at the base. Curly, be a good boy. Our windows are a little bit lower down in this house, and he can put his paws on top of the radiator and see out of the window, which is really cute when you pull up and you see their little faces at the window, but rather annoying if anyone walks past or he hears anything, because he just wants to remind them that a dog lives here and they shouldn't be near our house. Okay, so I'm just going to keep on going through, and you'll see that it's quite a relaxing pattern because, like I said, once you've mastered that one step or the new pattern in your technique. Oh, Linda says, this is gorgeous. My fingers are twitching. Oh, I'm so glad you like it. This was quite a nightmare in the making, really. I think I probably had about 14 little tester sections. I knew what I wanted the beads to do. But working with a different shape like a drum and incorporating the bicones and two sizes of size 11s, I was quite adventurous with it really, and I was determined to make it work. So it did take quite a bit of calculation and a few trial and error, but I'm really pleased with how it came out in the end. I think it's... even if I do say myself, I think it's a beautiful bracelet, and I'm glad that so many of you have really enjoyed it as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're just at the top. I'm just going to add in my last bicone, hopping over to that size 11 up at the top, down through my hematite drum, and then down through that 11. Okay, so that is now our third run, and we are done with our larger beads. And now all we're going to do is actually decorate and embellish the outside of it so that we get this lovely picot edging. So what I'm going to do is actually encase each one of these bicones with our seed beads, and then we'll just fill the gaps on the very last run. So I want to come up again, just working through my thread path, and I'm using a size 12 beading needle for this because we have our size 15s. And we do go through a lot of our beads multiple times. So just make sure that you've got the right, obviously your needle will come in your kit as well, but just make sure you've got the right tools for the job. Okay, so you need to exit on this one from your middle size 11. So I'm coming out from the very center one. And then what we're going to do is pick up a size 11, 2 size 15s, and 1 size 11. And I'm going to cross up and over the bicone and through to the bead on the other side. So my middle size 11. Okay. And as you can see, I'll put it down on the white so that you can see it. It's just going to create this little archway up and over the bicones. And I'm going to do this all the way. So a size 11, 2 size 15s, and a size 11. And sometimes if you like designing your own bracelets, or you're following kits and you're making bracelets and they just look a little bit incomplete, very often it's little steps like this that will just really pull the bracelet together and just give it that little bit more finer detail. And sometimes that is what can lift a piece from looking like a nice bracelet to it looking like a really amazing, intricate pattern. And it also hides a lot of your beads and your workings. So what I really like is when I've made something and you show somebody, it's quite nice to kind of have that air of mystery about it. How on earth did you make that? Or the thread path isn't quite so visible. Things like that as a designer, excuse me. Things like this as a designer is what can very often lift your pieces and just really make them stand out from the crowd as well. As a homemade, handmade piece of jewellery, it's going to give it a very professional finish and it looks really intricate. But as I'm showing you, it's actually very simple. Just a couple of pattern repeats, and I've done all the hard bits for you and worked out the thread path and the bead counts. So all you have to do is follow it. And this could be one of the first pieces of jewellery you've ever made. I'm only using a needle and thread, so you don't need any intricate tools or particularly intricate materials either. Okay, so I've moved all the way around the base and I'm just tightening this up nicely. So just as I go, of course, because we've worked on one side, you will notice that it just curves around. So when you're working on the other side, it's just going to straighten it up and bring that curve back. So sometimes if they look a little bit incomplete, you can always start adding little picot edges and picot details like these, and it will just pull it together. So I know sometimes it looks like a lot of faff, doesn't it? Just going over and over and round, but I promise once we finish this one, the end result will be well worth it. Okay, so up to the last one, and remember you'll have your entire length of your bracelet and you will just repeat this all the way. I think when I was doing my first one, I kind of just did it in smaller sections as well, just to get used to it to begin with. Okay, so this is going to come together beautifully, and as you can see, you're getting this lovely sort of lace effect. Now all I'm going to do is the very final run, and that's going to fill the gaps and just bring together this little picot edging. Lucy says, well, I couldn't sit on my hands any longer. I had to buy this. They are beautiful. Oh, thank you so much, Lucy. I'm glad you love them. Marion, I got the bundle using the coffee leftover drums for this bracelet with gold beads. That would be beautiful. June says, morning, Sarah and Kitty. Just joined you. Is this a kit, please? Yes, it is, lovely. We've got the video, the link on the video, or you can go to the Facebook tutorial section on the website. We've got kits that make 2 bracelets, but very different colourways. And towards the end of the video, I'll show you all of them, but most of the pictures are up there. Okay, so You've just overtaken me on the pattern. Oh, you're making along with me, Debbie. Lovely. Okay, so I'm just on the final step now, but you just take your time. And you can catch up with me at a later date when you are ready. Okay, what we're going to do now is just fill in our last little gaps on our run around the outside. So what it's going to actually enable us to do is fill in some little gaps and just start pulling together some of our picot edging. And I'm going to do this with the size 15s. Now in the purple set, this is the rainbow set, the 15s are a little bit lighter. So when you wear it, it's just going to give you that really nice little detail on the outside edge. As you can see, when you look at it at the moment, it looks a little bit irregular. So we just need to make sure that we're filling these gaps. And I'm going to do this with my size 15s. So I'm exiting from my middle bead, same as before. I'm going to move up to the top of the beads that we just added in. So that is through one size 11 and one 15. So do you remember at the top of our little mountains, if you like, I always say that we're now going to peak the mountain and fill the valley, and that will make sense in a moment. So I'm at the very peak of my mountain. That's in between my two size 15 seed beads, and I'm going to pick up another one. And then I'm going to go down to what I class as the valley. So when I add in that extra seed bead, can you see it just pops out of the edge? And this is what I mean by a little picot edging. Now I've gone down to the middle. I've got my little valley that I just need to fill in here because there is a gap in between our two size 11s. So I'm going to fill that with a size 15 as well. So I'm going to pick up my 15 and go up 111, 115. So now I'm back at the peak of my mountain, picking up a size 15, down a 15 and 11. Now I'm at the valley, filling that gap in between, back up to the peak. And once I've done this a couple of times, I will show you, and you can almost feel the bracelet become complete. It feels more rigid, it feels sturdier, still fluid though, but you can almost feel them pop into place. That's when you know you've got everything in the right position. I'm just going to pull that one around because that one got a little bit twisted. You know that you're filling the right gaps because everything just comes together and sits beautifully. You can almost hear it kind of pop into place. And I'm just taking my tension that little bit tighter because this is my final step. At my last one, so I'm just going to pick up my size 15 before I go through the middle, rotate around my beadwork, and then if I move my hands out of the way, can you see we've got that lovely little picot edging along the outside. And once I pull this tightly on the other side, it'll all straighten up as well. Just rotating round. And you can see it's really not difficult. You've just got to position yourself in the right place each time. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. Picking up my size 15. Up two of my beads to the very top. And filling that top as well. So once you have a look at your instructions, oh, good evening, Cheryl, from a very windy and rainy Perth, Australia. We don't have any better weather here either. We're in exactly the same situation. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all keeping safe over there and everything's okay. My uncle's in Australia, so I tend to know what's going on over there, but hope you're keeping well. Okay, so I'm going to just finish this last run and then I'm going to show you how to attach your clasp. And then this little section is a representation of what your entire bracelet will look like. Now, obviously, I've only got, gosh, this probably isn't even a quarter of a bracelet, but you can see it doesn't take too long to come together. Although it is an intricate weave, I would say just sit down, chill out, aim to be beading for a couple of hours, and you could have your bracelet done. And because your second one in your kit is of a different colourway, it's really nice to do another one because you actually feel like you're making something new because it's completely different. And I just wanted to keep that level of interest for you in your kits so that you're not making things that are really samey. And you got the most out of it. And then taking those hematite drums in 2 different colour directions is always really nice. Okay, there we go. So your hematite drums will sit slightly proud of your work. You get this beautiful, I really hope you can see it on the video. You get like a beautiful cross through the middle through your bicones. You get that shimmer of the crystals, and then you have that beautiful, delicate, lacy edge where we have just incorporated the outer seed beads just to finish off. And you can see once you're wearing it, it's just really lovely. Okay, so I'm just going to attach on my clasp as well, just so that you can then see the entire thing from beginning to end. To do so, we're going to work from our last final bicone. And just like we did before, we're going to use, you could either use your 11s or your 15s, it's up to you. I'm going to use my 15s in this case, just to bring in that delicate, lighter edging. I'm going to add 3 of my, she says, 3 of my size my size 15 seed beads, picking up one side of my clasp and another size 3. Oh my goodness, another 3 size 15s. I have a very foggy head today. Can't get my words out. Okay, so when you just loop that onto the end, it's just going to give a natural extension to the bracelet. It's going to give you a lovely finish. Dee says, thank you, Sarah. That is lovely. Just have no money left to buy. Oh, I'm sorry, Dee. I know we've certainly had our fill of bundles and beads, and goodness, some of you have been buying them so regularly, you must have more in the cupboards than I do. But I'm so glad that you've been enjoying them, and hopefully there is enough that, budget depending, you can just pick your favourites and be able to inspire you with your beading. Willow says, well, I think I'm sold. I really want to try this now. Thank you for popping up on my timeline. Oh, Willow, you are more than welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Sue says, this would make fabulous hair slides. Oh, Sue, you're right. It really would. The little hair clips that Kitty has, you could make a length like this and sew it onto the ribbons. Just going back to Willow's point as well, thank you so much for everybody that shares our videos. Because it does mean that we can reach people that ordinarily wouldn't see us or didn't even know that we exist. So thank you so much for all your interaction and all your shares and comments and likes. We really are so grateful, and it's lovely finding new customers and new people that we can share our creativity with on these daily basis, especially now that we are continuing to do so as well. Lucy says, I think I need a bigger craft room to store all my beads. Absolutely, tell me about it. I do too. When we moved, we've actually got like a double garage out on the drive. Half of it at the moment is full with recycling from all our deliveries and work deliveries. Because when we moved in, obviously we've got, a dining table and some of our bedroom furniture and such like. And because the tip hasn't opened yet, the one side is absolutely full. The other side, where I've been doing all of this from home for so long now and all the shows, is just completely full. It looks like a warehouse. It's insane. Can't wait to get my hands on this. I've just received a PayPal payment from a customer, so I'm spending it right now. Oh, lovely, Joe. That's fantastic. And right after your birthday as well. Congratulations on the sale. Dorothy, I have to buy new storage. I know. Yeah, I need to get myself a bit more organised as well. I really hope you enjoyed it. You've seen that as I've been talking to you, I've gone around and started reinforcing my clasp, because this is the part of your bracelet that will have the most stress on it. So just make sure that you reinforce that as much as you can. I'm just going to close the door because my washing machine sounds like it's going to take off. I'm sorry for all the distractions today. I've had the man to read the water meter, I've had the dog go mad, the washing machine's on, but that's what you get for joining us live in our homes, isn't it? So just as a little recap, we've got the beautiful teal set. You can take the teal the teal hematite drums down the bluer tone or the greener tone. I've put both of those in the sets. We then also have the lovely pink and purple. Now, these hematite drums, actually, let me get them out because you can't really see the colour of them so much when they're in the bracelet as you can when it's on the strand and kind of in mass volume. So have a look at this one. This, oh my goodness me, is just amazing. This is your sort of pinks and silvers, which is exactly the tone that I took it down. So you can either make a silver purple or a pink purple, both of which obviously look beautiful. I didn't realise water meters were a thing. Yeah, we've got our water meter outside. The guy comes to read it, tells us how much we've actually used, and then you're not paying more than you should be. And then with your gold, the gold hematite drums, these have like teal, they're quite similar to the rainbow, but they are more of an orange and teal based as opposed to the purple and blue. So that's the colours I took it along. I'm afraid this one's half in construction and half broken at the moment because it got caught in a box. But with your gold rainbow, you have the beautiful rose gold, and then we also did something a little bit quirky with the teals and the yellows. And then, of course, the one that I've been working on this morning with you all is the rainbow. So you can take that down to the purples, or you can add it into the blues as well. Not in Scotland, though. We get enough water. That's brilliant. Sue says, love that you are both so real life. Oh, I know. I'm afraid with us, we just what you see is what you get. Life is busy, isn't it? But it's really lovely to be able to come and see you all, but you just have to take the house as it comes. I'm on my own this week. Everyone's at work. My stepdaughter's with her mum. John's at work. So next week will be even busier because I'll have them all here and we'll have both dogs as well. So I'm going to be doing hematite drums tomorrow. Please join me at 10 o'clock. It's been lovely having you all here, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. I think there's someone else at the door, so I better go. Happy Monday. I hope yours settles down more than mine does. Stay safe, everybody. Love to you all.